What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the woods after a 1 week hiatus, and this is actually the 1 year anniversary of this very show, and I couldn't be gladder to do this with former U of MMA champion. He is Pius Inila Lobo, better known as Voodoo Max Alamas. There we go.
Hey,
That's it.
man. Hey, the pleasure is all mine, my friend. The pleasure is all mine. The fact that
One
I get to work with the one and only According to Woods every
one
Thursday,
year, one
right?
year
For the
ago
past
today.
year, right? We ran through the pandemic. Something serious.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what
I
I'm saying?
mean, literally, UFC 250 was the first time we went on Facebook Live and did this iteration of show, and it's taken a litany of different, I guess, transformations, evolutions, if you will,
Hmm.
because we did it on the Facebook Live, we did it on the Instagram Live, and then finally settled on StreamYard, and here we are, 1 year later.
That's how it goes, man. That's how the cookie crumbles, like they say.
Yeah, and speaking of cookie crumbling, we have to mention why we're here. UFC Vegas 28 this Saturday, coming to you live from the UFC Apex, as one Bruce Buffer says. And there's some returning faces, there's some debuting faces, and we're actually going to get it started off with 9-2 Claudio Puelles. That's what I'm going
Hmm.
with, and he is facing the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levitt being an 8-0 undefeated fighter up to this time, he's kind of a bit of an enigma, right? He's a different kind of cat, right? But he is a veteran of Tough Enough, Gladiator Challenge, Final
Hmm.
Fight Championship, and LFA before he entered into the UFC. Um, in the Dana White Contender Series, um, and basically triangle choke and slammed first round slam of Matt Winman, uh, that happened in December, and he's here again, and he's going up against El Nino, Claudio,
Hmm.
who's near perfect. Now, the last time
Hmm.
we saw Claudio was actually back in 2019, uh, and he was on a this ended up being a two-fight win streak for him,
Hmm.
beating Felipe Silva by knee bar in
Hmm.
2018, and then
Hmm.
Marcus Mariano by unanimous decision in 2019. So it
Hmm.
looks like he just kind of gets one every year. It seems like, because before the knee bar of Felipe Silva, he lost to Martin Bravo, and
Hmm.
that was in 2016.
Hmm. Hey, this guy, he's taking his tenure and he's stretching as far as he can stretch it. It's all good, man. It's all good. I can understand. I can understand. When he goes in there, he does perform, right? He is on a 2-fight win, Claudio Puelles. But this is pretty much another tale of two grapplers. They're going to go in there, and the striking is going to determine who actually is someone. They're going to nullify each other in the grappling, or one of them might catch a slick submission. This here, to me, is a 50-50 toss up. So I'll split you on this one, man.
Okay, so who you got?
Mhm. I'll go on the ledge and say Claudio. I'll go
Okay,
Claudio.
I got the Monkey King.
All right, let's do
Yeah,
that. Let's see
that's
what
it.
happens.
And you said it's a 50-50. What
Yeah.
are the chances that we're actually going to see a 50-50 administered at some point of this match, as they kind of grapple each other to a split decision? It's a high probability, right?
Yeah, very high, man. It's crazy.
What
Uh,
is the Scott Steiner promo? Three and three-fourth chance of winning at sacrifice some old Joe. Fat asses. There we go. That's what I'm gonna go with. So yeah,
Big Papa's your hookup. Holler
Holla
if you
if
hear
you hear
me.
me. Hell yes. And somebody who hears us is the great Don McGuire. Good evening, my homies,
That's
he
right.
says.
That's
Good
right.
evening, Don McGuire. It's actually Friday morning where you are in Kansas,
Wow.
which I want to say, have you looked at the AMC stock right now? Because I mean, you've got a 2 hour jump on us here in the West Coast, so I want to see how that AMC is doing. So please chime in the comments of what you see, good sir.
What's
Um,
up, Mr. McGuire?
I'm just saying, dude. Don
Mm.
McGuire is doing all things, all things. And speaking of doing all types of things, we have 7-1 Sean Woodson, the sniper Woodson, and he is coming into the octagon, and his opposition is 10-4 Yusef Zalal, right? Now,
Mhm.
Sean Woodson, in terms of his tattoo, my God, like there hasn't. I know it's the Missouri skyline, right? Because he fights out of St. Louis and what have you. But oh my God, it's a pretty. I'm not gonna say it's a pretty garbage tattoo, but it is not the best. It reminds me of Alan Belcher in the Johnny Cash, that
Yeah.
but it ended up looking like prune
Elvis
face from Dick.
Presley.
Oh no, I was gonna say prune face from Dick Tracy. That's what it looked like. Um,
Ah.
yeah, but this
Ah.
is
Hey man,
these are
this guy went ahead and put a city on his stomach with a dollar sign on it. That's
not
crazy.
on the map. He didn't put his city on the map. He put it on his stomach, where his abs are supposed to
Ah.
be.
Hey, but
10 points
he's born
for that.
ready though. He show
He
is born
is.
ready.
Yes, and hopefully he's a fan of the $1 million man because everybody's got to press to put
For the
that shit on
million
your
dollar man.
chest. I'm just saying. Uh, so, um, he's facing. Now, the last time that we saw Sean Woodson in the
Uh-huh.
octagon was a Darce choke loss to Julian Erosa back in
Mm-hmm.
June of 2020. But prior
Mm-hmm.
to that, he was on a roll. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
undefeated as a professional, and he went 1-1 as an amateur in both 2012 and 2013, respectively,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
literally, up until Arosa, he was undefeated.
Yep.
Training out of Wolf's Den Training Center in St. Louis, but
Yep.
he's going up against one Yusef Zalal. Uh, again, the Moroccan Devil. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, because of him rocking the Moroccan flag, it's got to be the coolest looking flag like that I've seen. It's just like a
Mm-hmm.
red and a green star. It's all types of funky. And shout out to the Morocco. That's what I gotta say.
Yep. Yep.
I,
Hey,
the
this particular fight is gonna be an interesting fight because it's a tale of two strikers. What we've got
mm,
here is one with extreme reach and the other one with potential to chop down the tree. So for me, it's a toss up. Whoever is able to execute their game plan will be the one to win, right? Uh,
wow.
if the tattooed fella can release those jabs and keep them far away with the 1-2s, you know what I'm saying? Keep pumping them jabs. He can steal the rounds easily, effortlessly. But if Zalal is able to slip those jabs, you know what I mean, those straights, and get close to the body, chop the legs a bit, he might be able to slow down his opponent, eventually breaking him down and potentially going for a submission. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this one also is a toss up for me, man. I can't really pick because they equally can destroy each other.
Right.
Skill wise, I see them equally destroying each other. So I'll 50-50 you on that. You can go first on this one.
You know what? I talked so much trash about his damn chest tattoo, which he seemed to be pretty damn proud of. So I'm gonna go with the sniper, Sean Woodson.
Okay. That's a good choice, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with these two guys. They're very good. They're very good. But in regards to the style of striking that I like, Yusuf Zalal is delivering that because he uses his legs really well and his hands. He's well balanced when it comes to striking. Sean is he's very good with his hands. His kicks are alright. His kicks are alright. It's not quite dynamic yet, but when he combines the efficiencies of his hands with the okay kicks that he throws, he's deadly. He's a dangerous fella just because of that length, and he has the ability to snap. So that's gonna make him dangerous. And I'll go Yusuf Zalal on this one. No problem. I'm cool with that. Both first 2 fights are toss ups for me. I
Yeah.
haven't been jolted yet. I've yet to be jolted by a match. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to come up.
Okay, I like it. That's cool. Don McGuire says $51 a share. It's down. Uh, that's cool because like I got in at 12, so
Yeah,
there we
you're
go,
still up.
man.
You're
Yeah,
still
to the
way
moon,
up.
to the motherfucking moon, good
You're
sir.
on the way up.
I guess it would be right. And that St. Louis skyline looks like a mail tramp stamp. Not gonna disagree with you, but I'm just saying I think I got him for the win. Just I don't know because I talked too much trash about it. But here's a fun one because we have Manon Fiorot of
Mhm,
France taking on the undefeated Tabitha Ricci, and this one is a toss up. Tabitha training at Black House. She's Brazilian by origin, but she is somebody that I mean, she might as well be LA. She's training at Black House, right? Under
mhm,
um, under the auspices of former LFA strawweight champion Little Monster Vanessa Demopoulos, as well
mhm,
as current LFA strawweight champion La Fiera, right? So you've got that, but she actually leapfrogged both champions and found her way here in a flyweight title. I mean, not title fight, but a flyweight fight on
mhm,
short notice. But again, the French gal in Manon Fiorot is, I mean, she's scary. She she's the beast, and it's a good moniker for a good reason. Because
mhm,
aside from her debut at Cage Warriors 94 against Leah McCourt, she has been undefeated as a pro, and
mhm,
went 3-2 in terms of her amateur career.
mhm,
But I mean, there's a lot of knockouts. The last time that her UFC debut was earlier this year in January, right? So pretty quick turnaround. But head kick KO won
mhm,
Victoria Leandro, right? And prior to that, in UAE, United Arab Emirates Warriors 14, she
mhm,
basically got you know a first round knockout, and
mhm,
then before that against Naomi Tata Rogolu at UAE Warriors 13. I mean, she ground and pounded the crap out of it. So she's got a
mhm,
lot of striking prowess in her, coming from her Muay Thai background, right? But
mhm,
Tabitha Ricci is, I mean, undefeated. Three of those, I think two or three of those were in LFA, and then
yeah,
before that, it was the Brazilian regional scene, right?
right.
And
Mhm,
yeah, so obviously she's made pretty good work in her time here in the U.S. training with Blackhouse as well as Saxon Muay Thai, right?
mhm,
And uh, for her grappling, she's a Paragon Jiu Jitsu practitioner, right? Um, she basically got second round KO at LFA 105 against Shauna Ormsby, right? And then
mhm,
won by armbar at LFA 98. Both of those happening this year. So she's already had two fights this year. That
mhm,
is both under the LFA banner. First being the January 29th card at LFA
mhm,
98. And then she
mhm,
returns just a month ago. Well, actually, a little over a month ago because we are in June. But
mhm,
yeah, she returns on April 23rd, 2021, and basically gets a KO. So
yep.
she's coming off of two straight finishes.
Mhm,
That's that's pretty damn awesome. But again, she's got a tough road to go in
Hmm.
Manon the Beast Fierro.
Yeah, yeah. Tabitha Ricci, she's got the spark right now. She's got that spark, and she just needs a UFC combustion to set it off. And this fight right here is custom made for actually for the both of them, just because of what they're bringing to the table. Tabitha Ricci is a complete fighter. You know what I mean? Her submission game is excellent. She has recently acquired a striking game, which is quite impressive, right? She's quite impressive lately. Primarily, she will be a submission artist, but she can fight her way to a submission. You know, she doesn't have to like pull guard or anything like that. You know, she's heavy jujitsu, but she ain't gonna be pulling no guard. Don't expect Tabitha Ricci to pull guard. That ain't gonna happen. She's gonna sting you. She's gonna go for the takedown and finish you. That's what she's gonna do. She's coming in the right way. So I'm looking forward to seeing her perform against Manon. Right, Manon also. I mean, the beast. What you're gonna have here is ferocity. She's gonna be like uh, the one Charles Oliveira just beat.
Oh,
Mike Chandler. She's gonna be
okay.
similar to Mike Chandler in fight prowess. She's gonna have very good power. She's gonna have very good explosion. Transitions are gonna be good. So Tabitha Ricci is gonna have to really break her down with the striking before she can go for that submission. So I feel that the power is there for anyone to get knocked out when hit by the beast. But I think Ricci is slick enough and understands the game enough to slip the big shots, find a vulnerability, and take over. I mean, she's got 3 losses to study. You know, of course, she's not the same anymore. The beast has changed. She hasn't lost since blah blah blah. Same blueprint, right? It's the same blueprint, right? If you have a computer from 5 years ago. It's the same computer. Yeah, you upgraded, but it's still the same computer. So her skills are based on the same mistake that she made. So if Richie's able to push her to a point where of exhaustion or something similar to that, those flaws will come right back because fatigue makes a fool out of everyone, right? So Richie needs to pressure, complete mixed martial art attack, wear down the opponent, and eventually finish by submission or get unanimous decision victory. I think Richie is the one that they are actually hoping wins this one because she seems to be more marketable. She's
Yeah.
got the look. She's got the look. She comes out to that Kilgore song. You know what I mean? Respect. Remember RVD used to come out to that at ECW?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she comes out to that. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
damn.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, she's got a nice little package going, man. You know what I mean? I like what they're doing with her or what she's doing with herself or whatever. The approach is perfect, right? When you're coming in from the outside, this is how you want to come in, right? A series of finishes.
Mhm.
Boom, they give you the opportunity. You go in there, you systematically destroy and dismantle the new opponent, your first opponent in the UFC. Boom, the machine is gonna push you immediately, and then the sky's the limit. I mean, look, it's the same formula, man. It's the same formula. You know what I mean? You bring some wins, you go in there, you win that first one, they'll put money behind you immediately. So she's already there. So now she needs to perform. So I look forward to seeing Richie getting a W.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's been on the According to Woods podcast twice, so nothing against Manon, but if he wanted to jump on the podcast, I'd pick you next fight. But this one, I feel it's a home team deal. So I'm going with Tabitha Ricci. Don McGuire says Kenny Johnson is legit at Black House. No, he is absolutely legitimately at Black House. That I can
Yeah,
confirm. You know,
yeah.
hashtag Bolt Wrestling, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
So
awesome. That right there, I will nominate for my first fight of the night. I
I
feel
agree.
it. I feel it. I feel it coming. Just because of the way they match up. It's a perfect
Hmm.
matchup. You know what I mean?
I,
Richie's gonna try and go for the submission, for the takedown. The other girl, the Beast, is gonna defend pretty well, and you're gonna have a nice clash of wrestling, nice clash of cage work. You know what I mean? The push off back to the center of the ring and slug it out. That's what's gonna happen. These two ladies are gonna show out. I feel it.
no, 1,000%. I'm gonna agree with you that this would be a candidate for fight of the night. I like this, and it's funny because Tabitha actually has a bit of her teammate, debuting as well in the UFC in kind of the top of the card. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But in the fourth fight of the night, we have Alan Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
15-3, right out of Brazil, right? Nugete. And Nugete Patrick I mean, he's coming off of two straight losses, right? One
Mm-hmm.
to Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman, and that was
Mm-hmm.
way back in 2018
Mm-hmm.
on the undercard of the Habib Conor McGregor card. Who can
Yes.
forget that one? Don't think
Yes.
anybody. Habib like damn near Bruce Lee kicking or trying to Bruce Lee kick Dylan Dennis. That whole debacle, that's exactly what that happened. And he lost to Scott Holtzman. And then he lost to unanimous decision last year in September to OG Bobby Green.
Right.
So, one would argue that this might be a must win for Patrick, but he is facing a nearly undefeated Mason the Dragon Jones. The
Mm.
Welshman, coming off of a loss, right, to Mike Davis in his UFC debut back in January. But guess what? He, up until this point, was undefeated as a pro. A lot of his fights taking place in Cage Warriors. I mean, he was a Cage Warriors veteran ever since Cage Warriors 91. Actually, I'm sorry. Cage Warriors 87, way back in 2017. And he stays
Mm.
with that promotion all the way to Cage Warriors 116 in March in his win against Adam Proctor. So
Mm.
both gentlemen having something to prove because they're both coming off of losses. In the instance of Alan Patrick, he's got two. Mason has one. So what say you, Voodoo?
Hmm. Whew. This is gonna. This one's gonna be quite interesting. Alan Patrick, he needs a W bad,
Mm-hmm.
real bad, real bad. I remember OG Bobby Green piecing him up too. The last time they fought,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I remember this particular fight. So he's okay. He's okay. If he uh if he mixes in some takedown attempts in addition to wear down Mason a little bit, and then Mason's gonna bring that striking game. Mason's boxing is pretty good. I remember this cat. He's got very good boxing, so it's not gonna be an easy match for Allen. But it's another difficult pick because ultimately it depends on who shows up. You
Right.
know, it
I think
depends on
so
who
too.
shows up. Well, what was that weight cut like? You know what I'm saying? What was that weight cut like? But it seems to me that Mason, you know, if you look at the odds, if you look at his record, he's only seen defeat once. Yeah, he's only had 10 fights, but so what? You know what I mean? Allen has 18 fights, 3 losses, right?
Right.
So if you look at the ratio there, in the toss up, Mason gets my vote.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a consensus pick. I'm gonna go with the Welshman as well. Nothing against the Brazilian here. I just think there's a lot more. You were talking about the stock of Ricci versus the stock of Manon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a lot more stock in Mason Jones. Hopefully, and he's Welsh. Hopefully, he's related to Tom Jones. I want to believe that he is, and him after his win in the octagon. I want him to do a rendition of hopefully uncle or granddad Tom Jones is. It's not unusual. Like that would make my fucking night. Just saying. So Mason,
With the
you
music
know what
too,
to
and
do.
the dance, and the
Mm,
Carlton
mm-mm,
dance.
mm, mm-mm. Yep. I'm just saying. So Mason, you know what to do. Just say, um, and I'll give you all of like a fraction of a Bitcoin to kind of reward you. I don't know if it's gonna earn you a $50,000 fight bonus, but I will give you a fraction of a Bitcoin if you do such things. So that's I'm just putting that out there, Mason the Dragon Jones. So bam, there it is. Um, Now in the 170-pound division, we have Francisco Trinaldo, 26-7. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce his fight moniker. It's just not gonna happen. Uh, but I mean, he's coming off of three straight wins, and
Hmm.
my God, Francisco Trinaldo looks about 70 years old. Like he looks like 82. Like not like he was born in 1982. He was born. Damn, he's 43. He's 43,
Yeah.
born 1978, and
Hmm.
still competing here
Hmm.
in the UFC. That's pretty incredible. And getting wins. He's got wins
Yeah.
over OG Bobby Green. That happened in 2019. A win over
Hmm.
John McDessie, a
Hmm.
unanimous decision, right? That
Hmm.
happened at March of last year, as well as July of last year, where he KOs like with an overhand left on one Jai Herbert. So
Mm.
even though he might be old as rocks, he is still coming to fight. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have the Russian, the king of kung fu, Muslim Sakilov,
Hmm.
and Sakilov is coming to us on a four-fight winning streak because his first kind of win of the streak happened way back in 2018 on the UFC on Fox 29, where he KOs Ricky Rainey literally in the second round. Then he has
Yeah.
another KO win over Nordine Talib. That's a name I
Hmm.
haven't heard since the Fox days. But yeah, that was back in 2019. Then
Hmm.
fought and beat by unanimous decision Laureano Starpoli, right? And then a split decision win in July over Alizio Zaleski, right?
Yeah.
So, man, what say you? I really want to hear your take on it.
Oh man, Trinaldo, man, very impressive fella. Very, very impressive. The fact that he's still performing at such a high level
High level.
at 43 years old. Shout out to the dude, man. I hope he gets fight of the night bonus. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? You deserve a bonus just for like. I think when you hit a certain age and you're still able to perform like this, you should get a bonus for that shit. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? Like for real, he should get a bonus just for being there performing at such a high level, right?
Hmm.
But then, unfortunately, Muslim Salikov is a Russian assassin
Yes, he
that's
is.
young. You know what I mean? The dude is what? How old is he? 36. So he's not that young, but still,
Younger than Trinaldo for sure.
he's acquired some pretty impressive skill. His grappling skill is on point, and he's got that knockout power. So what you're gonna see is a grappling, heavy grappling fight between these two. Trinaldo is a very, very good jiu-jitsu artist, and all the jiu-jitsu fighters have now understood that to be effective, you have to make it a hybrid. You have to invest a whole lot of time into wrestling. So Trinaldo has done that. I've seen it in him. This is why he's on the 3-fight win streak. He's able to take the fight where it's easy, right? Which is the ground. But unfortunately for him, he's going up against this grappler with knockout power in his hands. So when the fight's standing, it's gonna be dangerous for Trinaldo. But Trinaldo, he's got power too. He's got power too. However, if his opponent, Muslim, is able to change the tempo of the fight continuously. So with boxing, we switch to wrestling, put him on the fence. If he can to try and take down attempts, changing his heart rate continuously like that, trying different things will eventually break down the 43-year-old, right? uh, and that will be his time to move him for the TKO. So I see a TKO in the third round. Ronaldo is going to be too exhausted.
Yeah, I like that pick. And unfortunately, I think this will be the end of the tenure, end of the line for Francisco Tronano. You know, what are you at 43 years old? What's left for you to prove? I don't think there's anything.
Hey,
I,
what's
I
left? He wants that title.
okay, he's at number 29th in the world at the lightweight division, and at a time where Jesus, it couldn't have been more stacked. As much as I want to believe that, I don't think it's happening.
Hey, he's gonna take that fight on 1 day's notice. He's gonna come in, take the belt, and he's the new champion. He's gonna retire and make a movie about him. Straight up.
Hey, you know what? It's the Logan Paul effect. So, shout I guess shout out, man.
Exactly.
So,
Hey man.
uh,
Hey. Oh, speaking of Logan Paul, I'm happy you brought him up. Uh, we can talk about him now. We can talk about him later.
no, let's do it.
Hey man, that dude, man, he dropped a promo on Dana White today. Did you catch that?
I heard grumblings of it.
He had a face off with Tyron Woodley or whatever,
Hmm.
and he ate up Tyron Woodley, ate him up. Tyron should, hey man, Tyron, he's doing too much talking. You know, he really looked bad in there, man. The kid outperformed him on the mic. You
Yep.
know, he would have been better off if he just stayed quiet and remained menacing. You know, say a few words, not too much, 3 words. You're dead or something like that, and then don't say nothing else. Just stare him down. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he talked too much, and then for everything he was saying, the kid was waiting, and he had a counter for everything he was saying. You know, and then at one point he told Woodley, he was like, "Yo, if you believe you can beat me, why don't you? If I lose, I'll double your salary. If you lose, you donate your money to charity." And he stumped him right there. You know what I'm saying? He stumped him right there, and he showed fear because he didn't put up that money. He showed that he didn't believe that he could beat the kid. You know, the fight's already over. I wonder how many people caught that. The kid's gonna
Yeah.
beat him. The kid's gonna beat him. He's afraid of the kid, but he's ready to get that cash. If he's not afraid of the kid, he would have put that money on the line, but he
Well,
didn't.
well, you know what's funny, right? Because that would make the Duke Rufus Sport kind of contingent like 0-2 against the Paul, right? Like first
Wow.
Askren, then Woodley. Again, prior to the UFC, you know, Askren was a two-time world champion in ONE and Bellator,
Hmm.
respectively, and a storied wrestling career prior to his iteration in the MMA sphere. You know, and Woodley is a former two-time champ of both Strikeforce and the UFC. So, I mean, if both of them get KO'd, man, there's, I mean, what's Duke Rufus gonna say? I don't know.
I don't see Tyron getting KO'd, but I see him getting stomped.
Yeah, but not that it matters because there's no judges, there's no referee,
Oh, there's
or there
no
might
judges.
be. Yeah, so this shit is an exhibition. This is like fucking the Diaz brother that was like, oh, Conor McGregor is doing fucking touch butt in the park. This is touch butt in the park.
But he went out there and he dropped a quite a promo on Dana White. He talked about how, you know, Dana White's not paying the fighters enough. You know, these people out there risking their lives and putting it down. You know, without them, there is no show. You know,
Right.
and he made a valid point.
I
He made a
like it.
valid point.
I like it, but
Yeah.
again, who was the last person that tried to call out Dana White in terms of from a promoter standpoint?
Hey,
Remember?
hey, hey.
Remember?
But this,
Oscar.
yeah. I mean, Oscar has no say in anything because he's got too many. I mean, fishnets, high heels. too many clown points on Oscar. He should just stay out of argument in the public like that.
You know, I mean, whatever floats anyone's boat. I mean, this is
Hey,
Pride
whatever.
Pride Month after all. So if you subscribe to the Pride, kudos to you. We support
That's
you.
right.
Keep on doing what you do, man. Man, woman, child, uh, he, them, they, their, it, all of it. 10
Hey,
points for you guys.
straight
Um,
up.
so yeah, I a honey is a honey, right? So if Woodley can command the level of payday that he feels he deserves off of this one, fuck it,
Hmm.
more power to him.
More power to him, man. He deserves a payday, though. He's been he's
No,
been he's been he's been an asset to the federation, to mixed martial arts. He made a mark. You know what
he
I'm saying?
definitely made a mark.
He made a
That
mark.
mark was
He made a mark.
brown skids all over the T-Mobile Arena at UFC 209. I swear to God, like I said, his mark is a shit stain. Um, yeah, so here we go. I mean, I kind of fucking hope the fucking Paul brother wins. I'm not even
Hey,
giving
I
a
hope
damn.
that Paul dude gets knocked the f out,
I
but
don't think
I don't
so.
think he is. I
I
think
don't
he's
think.
he's young. He's young. He's better at the boxing rhythm. He's better at it. He's gonna outbox him. You know,
Yeah.
Tyron
Not.
Woodley doesn't put together combinations like that. He goes for a
Mm,
one power knockout, but the kid's gonna be ready for that.
mm-hmm.
You know, and he's gonna
No.
outwork him.
1,000%. Now you know what's funny, right? Because we're talking about like the Paul brothers. We're talking about Oscar De La Hoya, right? And I think it's fun because regardless of all their antics, De La Hoya owns London Publishing. And if you don't know it by name, we're talking Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, KO, Ring Magazine. That is all under the umbrella of Golden Boy Promotions.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
In addition to that, the Pauls, with their Triller, kind of platform that they use to kind of, promote these cards, these celebrity
Right.
cards.
Right.
Well, guess what? They just bought Fight TV.
Really?
Triller, yes. So if you're a wrestler, if you're an MMA fighter or whatever with content on Fight, guess what? That shit belongs to fucking the Pauls. Might be Logan, might be the other one. Yeah. So
Hey
they
man,
say,
call them what you want. Call them what you want. These kids are making moves right now.
mm-hmm,
Making major moves. It's
thousand
impressive.
percent.
They're not dummies. They know exactly what they're doing. They're not dummies. They're not just YouTubers. They're businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
They're groomed businessmen. They know exactly what they're doing. Making a perfect fights. Fights they know they can win. And when they lose, they're expected to lose. Now the Logan brother, he's gonna lose to Floyd because Floyd is gonna outbox him.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be victorious in defeat. You know what I mean? He's gonna
Yeah.
look good, even though he's losing. He's gonna look good. He's gonna get his ass whooped, but he's gonna look good. Everyone at the end of that is gonna say, "Man, that poor kid's all right." It's
I like it. Yeah.
a
So
win-win situation, man. They're winning. Those kids are winning.
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we'll see what happens after that. I There's not much. If you guys are expecting the world, again, there's no referee, no judges, no 10-8 rounds. No, that shit can
Mm.
fly off in another atmosphere because of this Saturday, there ain't none of that shit.
You're gonna watch it, right?
Probably not.
Catch the
No.
highlights.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I'll do that, man. But speaking of highlights, Man, Tanner Bozier, the bulldozer, has been on quite a tear. 19-7-1,
Mm-hmm.
coming to us, by way of the actually not even Alaskan, but you know, the Alberta, Canada, not Calgary, Alberta, Canada, but Bonnyville, Alberta, Canada is what he's repping. But the last time that we saw him was a unanimous decision loss to Andrei Arlovsky back in
Right.
November of 2020. But prior to that, he was on a two-fight win streak, a KO over Rafael Pessoa, right, and Felipe Lins, right. So, but he's been with the company since, what was it, 2019? Fighting first against Daniel Spitz at UFC on ESPN 6 back in
Mm-hmm.
2019.
That was on the
And
island,
he's,
right? That's Fight Island.
yeah, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, right? Now, on again, the other end of the docket, you've got one, the only Ilir Latifi. Ilir coming in 14-8 record. He is the sledgehammer. And man, I remember when he first came on the scene. I think it was the fight with Bader, or no, I'm sorry, it was against Jan Vellante on the undercard of McGregor Diaz. And I was just like, the way this dude moves, it just like it had star power all over it,
Right, right, right,
right?
right, right, right.
Um, yeah, man. Ilir Latifi, good God, he
Uh,
he's fallen from grace, hasn't he?
he's been there for a long time. He's fought a lot of good people, you know.
But
Um,
I mean, this one, I okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm gonna go Ilir Latifi because he needs this. He's lost to Corey Anderson, who's now in Bellator, Volkan
mhm,
Ozdemir, who got turned
mhm,
down in terms of
mhm,
his aspiration for a UFC light heavyweight title, right?
mhm,
To Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis. He took Derek Lewis to a unanimous decision in in February of 2020, right? But
mhm.
again, Tanner Brozier has looked pretty fucking good, man. Obviously, there's that loss to Andrei Arlovsky, but it's Andrei fucking Arlovsky.
Mhm,
Even
mhm,
at close to 50, Andrei Arlovsky is dangerous everywhere, right? But wins over Rafael Pesosa as well as Felipe Lins, losing to
mhm.
Cyril Gane. Um, so I have Latifi, and again, this is just. I hope he doesn't get KO'd. That would break my heart. But I think he
Mhm.
needs this win.
I'll split you on this. I'll take I'll
Okay.
take I'll take Tanner Bozer on this one. No problem.
Okay.
They both have a reason to win. The Latifi definitely needs to win, right? And the young man being on a looking really really good at Fight Island. You know, he seems to have a problem with people who are very tall.
Mm-hmm.
Arlovsky is a 6 plus. Cyril Gagne is a 6 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Latifi would probably be like 5 something, maybe five
Yeah,
ten,
he's
five
short.
eleven. So someone in punching range. So I believe Tanner Bozer could bring the pressure to Latifi. He could bring the crisp boxing, lots of footwork, making it difficult for uh, uh, the slugger Latifi to key in. Every time Latifi throws one, I see Tanner Bozer throwing 3 to 4, as a counter, or executing a 3 to 4 strikes per per assault. So he's gonna outwork him. Bozer tends to have very good gas, and he can push a pace. I think this is gonna make a difference in this match. But at the same time, Latifi could put his lights out just like that.
Yeah.
He's got the equalizer. which is why he doesn't need to put together combinations. He's
No,
got the equalizer, but
it,
it's 50-50 on me. So I'll take Bozer. You got
Latifi.
Lati.
I'm
Okay, that
I'm good with
works.
that. Yeah,
That
I'm
works.
totally good with that. You know,
Okay.
something that I'm also good with is this next matchup. We have Montana De La Rosa, 11-6. Right.
Hmm.
Last time we saw her in the octagon was a loss to Vivian Arojo. That
Hmm.
was in September 2020. But beat Mara Barella, which unanimous decision going her way. But she's had a start and stop type deal.
Hmm.
She's a former a member of the cast of The Ultimate Fighter 27. Again, I think that's fun because The Ultimate Fighter just returned this week on ESPN Plus if you're here in the States.
Hmm.
But she's going up against the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipsky, 13-6. Now, Lipsky is training at King's MMA, presumably in Huntington Beach, California. But she lost to Antonina Shevchenko in the second round back in November of 2020. And then uh, has a win over Luana Carolina, where she beat by armbar, and Isabella Padua, which those are
Hmm.
kind of the most recent UFC wins, right? Lost to Molly
Hmm.
McCann, which is weird. Why do you do that? It's Meatball Molly, right? On the other side of the docket, we have Arya Lipsky. Oh, we already went with that.
Hmm.
Never mind. Uh,
Yeah, we do that.
yeah. So, what say you?
This one, Lipsky tends to lose to established fighters. Like, seems like she gets starstruck when she's there with them. So I'm like, whoa, Calderwood, whoa, So I don't know what her temperament is gonna be when she steps in there against Montana De La Rosa. De La Rosa is also an established fighter in her own right. She's very good, not bad at all. Even though she recently lost to Viviani, but she's been in there with some very good fighters. Nico Montano, former champion. Cynthia Calvillo, Mackenzie Dern. These are quality fights. Quality fights.
Yeah.
And Rachel Ostovich, noticeable name, right? She lost to KGB Lee. Lee is pretty badass.
Hmm.
Uh, I think this is a good matchup for her, for
Yep.
Montana De La Rosa. Arena Lipsky, she's good. She's good, but I don't see killer instinct yet. I don't see killer instinct yet. She tends to she tends to not execute sometimes, uh, and I see that happening again. You know what I mean? She's done it more than once, so I see an opportunity for it to happen again. Montana De La Rosa just has to go in there and bring lots of pressure, lots and lots of pressure. Force her to stand, exchange with her, multiple punches, punching in bunches, right, and finishing with the leg kick or something like that. She'll get kicked back because her opponent is a Muay Thai fighter, but
Hmm.
ultimately the Muay Thai is what she picked up, right? Jiu Jitsu is what she's good at, but she does well in Muay Thai as well. But I think Montana De La Rosa is going to pull this one off. She's going to pull this one off
Wow.
on a split decision type win.
Right on. I like it. I'm just going with Ariane. Yeah, she did look pretty terrible, especially her fight nickname and moniker. It sounds so good. Queen of Violence, man, that needs to be on
Yeah.
a fucking shirt tomorrow. Like
hey,
tomorrow. So
hey,
that's a
hey, this fight is a 50-50, so I'm totally cool with it. It's perfect. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So I'm
Somebody got
gonna
to pick her.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with Lipsky.
That
Um,
works.
that's here nor there, right? But what
Yeah,
is
it works.
also here in the featherweight division, we have Makwan Amirkhani,
Yeah.
uh, who is 16-5 against Kamuela Kirk. Now the 16-5 Mr. Finland is coming off of a loss to Edson Barbosa via unanimous decision. But up until then, Danny Henry he basically finished with a first round anaconda choke. Shane Burgos, he got KO'd. Chris Fishgold got wrapped up in a anaconda choke in the second round. Jason Knight, split decision loss, right? So I'm just on general premise. I think that that we're fuck. I mean, who do you have?
Ah, this one doesn't cry out to me like dope fight. I don't see dope fight.
Yeah, Camilla
Ah,
the Jawaiian. What the
the
fuck name is?
Joanne.
Yes, but I mean, he's coming off of two straight losses. I mean, not losses, wins. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wins and losses matter. Damn it, wins and losses matter. So he basically beat Guillermo Santos by first round punches back at LFA 97. That was
Hmm.
just again January this year, and then he basically retired Daniel Swain. Um, he got a second round retirement. That's fun. And I know we talked about it before, but I just think second round retire. That's amazing.
Never to return.
Never to return. Ever, ever, ever. Never, ever return to the UFC again.
uh,
But he's
and
back.
this fight, I have nothing invested in this fight. I hope it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I don't see fight of the night candidate.
No.
I
No.
see I see two low level dudes trying to find their place at the table. That's what I see. Uh,
Yeah.
Mr. Finland, he's flamboyant. You know, the people that he's lost to are explosive fighters. Explosive. Barboza, explosive. Shane Burgos, explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Arnold Allen, I'm
Gooch.
not familiar with who that guy is. Adam Ward, I don't know. I don't know. Victor Tomasevic, I don't know that fella either. But I do know Shane Burgos, killer. Edson Barboza, murderer. You know what I mean? So he has a limit. Clint Eastwood said every man got to know his own limitation. So he knows his limitation. Some fools you just don't push the issue with, otherwise they'll break your face, like Edson Barboza or Shane Burgos. But this guy, the Jawaiian, first of all, this dude needs to reinvent himself immediately. The Jawaiian, no one is gonna follow a Jawaiian.
What the
Hey,
fuck
but
is
what if
that
he
even?
goes out there and he toe tags? You know what I mean? So I guess it will work. But I do remember him losing to Billy Quarantino. Billy
Yeah.
Quarantino, remember Billy Quarantino?
Mm-hmm.
Billy Quarantino is so dope. I remember him losing to Billy Quarantino, getting pieced up, some proper. So knowing Billy Quarantino's skill set, and I compare that to Mark One. Belly will beat both of these dudes. So it's a 50-50, man. I'll flip a coin for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Mr. Fiddlin, Ameriquano.
Okay. I'll take this Camuela guy, fella. I'll take him.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's awesome,
Somebody
man.
has to. Somebody has to.
Hey,
Instead
I'm
of
not really too pumped about this one. I'm happy to be back, but
yeah,
I'm not feeling like yay, you know what I'm saying? Lot of hey, we split like so many of these fights.
mm,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we still got some to go. We're at the
Okay,
halfway point.
okay, all right, okay.
But we have 12-3. Tom Breeze out of Britain. Last time that we saw him in the UFC, he basically lost via arm triangle choke to Omari Alma- Akhmedov. Why in the hell am I not able to say that? But Humari Akhmedov lost via triangle choke, but he beat the shit out of KV Bueller. Uh, First round KO, hammerfish, all that shit, right? Um, on the other side of the docket, we have 9-4 Antonio Oro. And the last time we saw Antonio, he's the one who actually got pieced up by Deron Wynn in Deron Wynn's first kind of iteration in the UFC, unanimous
Mm-hmm.
decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also lost a unanimous decision to Andre Muniz, but in between, just in 2020 alone, he was supposed to fight Trevin Giles. That fight fell through. Andreas Micheladas, or as I like to say,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Michelada Bukakis, right? So there you go. He was those two were supposed to fight, didn't end up happening, and then also supposed to fight Eric Andrews, also not happening. So he's got after he lost to Deron Wynn, he's got Tom Breeze. What? Who do you have? Who do you predict winning this one?
I don't see a lot of skill between these two. I think they're still in the learning process. I don't see dynamic striker. I see fighters, which is okay. Nothing wrong with fighters. Okay, nothing wrong with fighters. Just understand that in my mind, I'm looking for that apex predator. That's what I'm looking for in regards to being balanced. Khabib is great, but he is no apex predator. As soon as we find someone who can match his wrestling, then he dies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want him, even though they match his wrestling, he can switch on to kickboxing, switch on to boxing, switch on to. He doesn't do that because his wrestling is so dominant. So he's never had to improve all those other areas. Right? He can always
Mm-hmm.
shoot the double, and it will always work every time. Right? I'm not looking for something like that. I want someone that can slip in and out of techniques flawlessly. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the ultra, like a Yuri Boyko from the movies. That was a perfect striker, right? Now I want that in real life, and we're so close. We're so close. We have this new generation of kids coming up, and they're executing these techniques, and they're making it happen. But we haven't hit that peak yet. We haven't hit that peak yet. The young kids are still maturing. So in this particular one, man, I'm gonna pick Tom Breezy to win this
Mm-hmm.
one, just because I don't know if Antonio Arroyo is ready. I don't think this is the level for him. But we'll see. We'll see. He could go in there and just shake up the spot and prove me wrong. But he's gonna have to go in there and prove me wrong. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I
Yeah,
got the Englishman.
yeah. No, I too have Tom Breeze, so I think that's a consensus pick. Now Rashawn Thompson, probably in reference to the Ariane Lipsky versus oh gosh, Montana De La Rosa, right? He says that he's leaning towards the prettier fighter. You got to let us know what that is, or who that is. They might both be cosmetically appeasing, so there's that. I'm just saying, but
He likes
we're
the
kind of
Brazilian.
yeah. But I'm focusing on their fight prowess, man. So let's do that now. In the next fight, we have do, 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 do. We have Dusko Todorovic, right? 10
Hmm.
and 1 against a debuting 9 and 3 Brazil's own Gregory Rodriguez. Now,
Hmm.
Dusko, you know, we saw the last time. Dusko, his nickname and fight moniker is literally thunder, and we saw
Hmm.
thunder in his hands against Dequan Townsend, who he KO'd back in 2020. Basically went to unanimous decision to Teddy Ash back in
Right.
2019 at Dana White's Contender Series, and then Michel Pieta, right? He
Hmm.
beats Michel Pieta not in the UFC, but on Serbian Battle Championship 19 back in 2018. So I just think
Hmm.
that's fun because Michel is a active member of the UFC roster here, right?
Hmm.
Now Gregory Rodriguez has a fun one because RoboCop um, trains at Black House, trains, at a litany of places here in Southern California, after he kind of departed from Brazil. But man, he just won the LFA title, right? He just won
Mm-hmm.
the LFA title. And I think within hours of him winning, Dana White calls him or whoever makes the calls and says, "Hey, you're in." So he was the LFA middleweight champion for maybe a couple hours.
That's pretty cool. At least he gets to keep the belt.
Or does he? We never know.
Uh, hey, this fella here, Gregory Rodriguez. He's fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. He's in Florida now.
Yeah, it's hyperbole because I saw a picture not too long ago with him and Ketty Johnson and all that.
Mm. Okay. Um, Dusko is very, very good.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't call the man Thunder for nothing, man. Dusko. He's a dynamic striker, man. He
Mm,
comes from that style of kickboxing that's high pace, long. You know, everything they throw is long. The reach, the use of the reach is very, very, very well mastered in this
yes.
in Dusko Thunder. So he's gonna bring great striking, right? You might even see some spinning stuff out of this kid,
Yep.
even though he's so big.
Mm-hmm.
He can command such control of his body. His opponent is able to strike, but he is no dynamic striker. I've
Mm-mm.
seen Gregory Rodriguez strike before. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. He's good. He's done his thing in the game. He's done his thing. Would you say he's a perfect fighter? I mean, a complete fighter, not a perfect fighter, a complete fighter. I would say so because he has the ability to knock you out with his hands. He
Okay.
can submit you, with all sorts of uh, uh, submission finishes. But the thing that's going to make a difference here in this particular, he's good. What's his name? Gregory is very good. He's a complete fighter, right? If you want to call him that. But Dusko is faster. The speed is going to make a difference in this case. Speed is going to make a difference. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dusko touches him and puts him to sleep. I wouldn't be surprised at all because of that speed. So I'm going to go with Dusko to possibly win this one. No less than split decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gregory. And again, you could be absolutely right. I
Hey, you
just,
could be absolutely right. That's the thing
yeah.
about these matchups for this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to call.
There's so even. The talent's coming out in from everywhere. So,
Hmm.
if you want to crack at the UFC, it's you can get it. Just make
Yeah, it ain't
yourself
gonna be easy.
marketable. Yeah, believe. Damn it, believe in
That's right.
yourself. That's the place to start. You know.
Who wants it more? Who wants it more? That's what it's gonna boil down to. Most of these matches, it's gonna be who wants it more. You know, most of them are
No,
gonna
when
go to decision.
no, I agree. I agree. So I'm actually going to say Rodriguez again because he's not hometown guy, but he might as well be. I'm going to claim him,
Hmm.
and I say that maybe a split decision, Gregory Rodriguez's way. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
it's split decision was for Dusko as well. So I see the fight ending in a split decision.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not you're not
straight
wrong.
up.
You gotta have some hocus pocus shit. When
That's right.
one of the
That's right.
guys on your top billing, you let go. So
That's
contingency
right.
plans, right?
That's right.
Which,
That's right.
speaking of returns, we have the Argentine dagger,
Hmm.
Santiago
Hmm.
Ponzinibbio. And yeah, I'm not going to say that three times fast. But, you know, the the gentleman here in question, Miguel Baeza, you know,
Hmm.
he's had crazy conditions to do an interview. I've seen that with my own two eyes, and made it feel like $1 million.
Hmm.
So I would love for whoever's kind of, there. I would just love shit to happen here. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. This one here, this one's gonna be fireworks.
You think
Expect
so?
yeah. It's gonna be fireworks. Both men are skilled jujitsu player, right? But uh, what's that dude's name? Ponzanibio. Uh, he's gonna be slightly better in the jujitsu department because he's good. That's just the bottom line. He's good. The young man, he's bringing youth, so transitions is going to be his key. If he can transition before Ponzinibbio makes his move, then he'll be able to stay safe. But will he? That's a question. He has been flawless throughout his career. As an
Mm-hmm. 10 and
amateur,
0.
he went 5-0 as an amateur, and now he's in the pros. He's taking everybody out with knockouts, decisions, unanimous decisions, split decision at the least, leg kicks. He is a very good striker. An arm triangle choke here, So he's doing this thing. He's doing this thing. He knows how to win, and he knows how to win in an exciting manner, which is
Mm-hmm.
going to be his key to making it to superstardom, right? So he's doing well. Punza Nebio is he's an older gentleman. He's very
Which one?
good. Ponzinibbio. He's an older gentleman at
Yeah. Oh,
34
no,
years old,
100%.
34,
Yeah.
35. He's
When you say
good. He's
old, I'm
good.
thinking like Yoel Romero old.
Yeah, no, not that old. But
Okay.
it's as I say, man. Just because you're chronologically 34 doesn't mean your body is physically 34.
Right.
The body tends to go first. The mind's always like, "Hey, man, we can do it," but then the body can't do it. And then people get in there and they start losing. So, man should be able to recognize this in themselves. Your mind is strong, but if the body can't do it anymore, don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. You know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
at 34, Ponzinibbio, he can still do it, right? But the kid has youth on his side. He's got confidence on his side. Um, he's going to be a lot of work for Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
going with Miguel Baez, man. I think he's going to stay
Same.
clean.
Same. Same. The fact that you know, you basically finish two badasses, and those badasses being Matt Brown, the immortal one, and Takeshi Sato. You
Hmm.
finish both of them, which is even finishing one of them, that would be a big kind of feather in your cap. But no, you did both of them, and that's shit. Yeah, man. More
He
power
let
to
it know
you.
it wasn't no fluke. He let it be known it wasn't no fluke.
Nope, nope, not a fluke. And speaking of nothing fluky, we have Roman Dolidze out of Georgia, not the apple pie or the peach pie, Georgia, but the country of Georgia, right?
Mhm.
He's coming to us fresh off a loss to Trevin Giles, but beat John Allen, Hadis Ibrahimov, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
literally he's just here, just knocking fools out. Doesn't matter the promotion. He just beats the shit out of people, right? But on the opposite end of the octagon, on this night, he's facing the 9-3 Laureano Staropoli, or
Mhm.
better known to his friends in his inner circle, is Pepe. Pepe. So if there was a hood version of Jeopardy, that would be the question. Like, what the fuck? Yep, you look like him. You sound like him. Fuck it, you're him. That's what I
Hey,
got.
hey. I don't know about this Pepe fella. Hey man,
Yeah.
he lost to Muslim Salikov in a unanimous decision. Team mean. So if there's a will, there's a way to beat this guy. You gotta outwork him. You gotta outmove him. Roman is the type of dude that can do that because his record said so. If you look at him, he's either heel hooking suckers to oblivion or rear naked choking them. He's got knockout power in both hands. He does spinning things. He'll catch you with a spinning back fist. He throws knees. You know, He knows how to win. He knows how to win. His fight against Trevin Giles, he ran into a puzzle that he couldn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure he's since studied intensely this fight with Trevin Giles and made some serious improvement. And I believe he's going to show up come Saturday. And Liriano Staropoli he's gonna get served. I see him getting finished in the second round.
Okay, I like it. I'm gonna go with that too. That's a consensus pick. Uh, Rashawn and says I need to do my research on both. Never heard or seen any of these fighters. Yeah,
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that because there's been a shit ton of fucking fights since July of last year. I think only a 2 week break, like one for the the impending holiday of New Year's, and then like every week after that. Like
that's right.
late January. It's just there's too much MMA. It's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
but in terms
Hey, you
of
should
like,
get
hey, that's that
ESPN
person.
Plus. ESPN Plus. It's like what, $5 a month,
Yeah,
something like that. ESPN Plus. You'll see all well, not all of them, but most of the UFC fights.
most of them
You
for
see them
sure,
on ESPN Plus.
for sure. So yeah, I think we've got the consensus pick, but
Hmm.
we've we've got in the co-main events of the evening. We have the big ticket Walt Harris, 13-9 versus Marcin Tybura,
Hmm.
who's
Hmm.
26-1. Now Walt Harris, unfortunately lost his stepdaughter, but really his daughter. Um, in this horrible, horrible crime that ended up happening. But he is on a two straight, losing streak. He's on the skids, right? Now, Tiber is not somebody, once the cage closes, are you going to need an excuse for why you didn't listen to your coaches or a litany of different things. So am I on this level or am I not? Because Marcin Tybura, 21-6, is just tearing up every motherfucking butt. He's beat Greg Hardy, like finished Greg Hardy, unanimous decision. Brendan Rothwell, Maxim Gershon, right? That was a unanimous decision. Sergey Spivak, again, last year, in February. So it's just rife with like people that need to be defended, but it's in terms of the defense. I think Marcin Tybura's defense over the big ticket. Nothing against the big ticket, right? But I just think he kind of gets caught up in some stuff. At least what I've seen and heard of him in interviews, right? So I'm gonna go with Tiber.
I'm not mad at that, man. Uh, Tybura, he's grown a lot recently. He's grown a lot. He's uh he's bringing together a more complete game. Yes, he can knock you out. Of course, he can knock you out. But the kicking game that he's added to his game is going to be quite impressive. But this one right here, whoever execute their attributes the best will win. Walt Harris, he's got very good hands. He's got zero ground game. Most people take him to the ground and finish him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got zero ground game. However, he's got so if he can touch up Marcin a little bit, he might be able to knock him out at any
Uh,
any point in the fight. But I don't think he'll be able to. That's the thing.
yeah,
I
same.
think yeah, I think Marcin is gonna. I mean, Marcin has been watching him. He knows he has no ground game, so he's gonna do his best to take him to the ground. I mean, look at Greg Hardy. He took Greg Hardy to the ground. Greg Hardy used to be a football player.
Yeah.
So he's got those fast twitch muscles, he's got that speed, that lateral, but he still took him down and finished him in the second round. So if he can do that to Greg Hardy, understand Walt Harris is going to be taken down as well. And he will be finished. Second round.
Second round. I like it. Yeah. There's no way I'm gonna go up against that guy. So I'm not going to. So this is going to be a consensus pick. Um, you said Tiber, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Tiber. I'd say second round. That feels good to me too. So I'm in total agreement with you. Now, one place we have arrived to, and we can all agree on that, but we are at the main events of the evening. We have Georgina Rosenstruck against Augusto Sakai. Now, Rosenstruck is ranked number 7 as related to Tapology in an already crowded heavyweight division, right? But Biggie Boy wants to kind of remain in the organization until he says he's done. But he lost to Ciro Gagne uh, earlier this year in February, right? He lost a unanimous decision. Up to there, has a win over a former UFC world champion, world heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos, but then lost to Francis Ngannou. So he's been all up and down the place. Um, that's him on the docket, right? And then
Hmm.
we've got Augustus Sakai, who 15-2-1. Uh, Everybody saw those. If you follow her and her gym on social media, you'd have seen one Juliana. I mean, sorry, you would have seen who the fuck? Oh my god, Georgina Rosenstruck.
Hmm.
I actually think he's gonna lose. I think
Jorginho.
yeah, I because Augustus Sakai, he he doesn't look like this elite fighter, right? And of course, he lost to Alistair Overeem because it's fucking Alistair Overeem. You put some respect on Alistair Overeem's name, but he has compiled a hell of a. I mean, I think he's only lost two, right? Well, he lost to
Hmm.
Czech Congo back in
Hmm.
2017 in
Hmm.
Bellator, and then lost to Alistair Overeem.
Hmm.
Those are not bad wins. I mean, bad losses, I should say, right? Those
Not at
are,
all.
beat Marcin Tybura, beat Andrei Arlovsky, beat Chase Sherman. You know, he's been all over the place, all right? Um,
Hmm.
Now, Rosenstrike, even though I'm not picking Biggie Boy, but he lost to Cyril Gane, beat Junior Dos Santos, beat Francis Ngannou. I'm sorry, lost to Ciro Gane, lost to Francis Ngannou, but beat Junior Dos Santos, beat Alistair Overeem, beat Andrei Arlovsky. Right there. Arlovsky, Overeem, Dos Santos. Those are
Hmm.
three former heavyweight champions, right? Alistair Overeem in different organizations, but Arlovsky and Junior Dos Santos, those are two former UFC champions, right?
Hmm.
Which is an
Hmm.
impressive deal. But I didn't like the way he looked in that Cyril Gane fight, and I think his head might be kind of fucked up. So that's why I'm going with Sakai in this one.
Hey, against a dynamic striker like a Serial Gone or whatever, I understand why he lost like that. You know, he doesn't have movement. He stands and bangs, and if he hits you, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep. So if his opponent is able to come into this matchup, Sakai, use his boxing, move his feet, stick and move for 25 minutes, he'll win very easily. Just like Cyril Gane did. Cyril Gane he just pieced him up. He stayed out of the way, pieced him up. You know, why risk getting separated from consciousness, like Joe Rogan would say? Why risk that when I can just dominate by being technical? You know,
Yeah.
so is he able to box like this? This is the question. Can Sakai box like this? Can he kickbox? Right? If he can kickbox and move, and not get touched, then he'll be able to win quite easy. But you know what? This one here is such a dangerous fight for Sakai because Jarzinho, one touch, man, one touch. That's it. He's so precise with his striking. So I will go on a limb and pick Jarzinho in this one
Okay.
because only because I have nothing invested.
Uh,
It's a balanced fight. Uh, Whatever the other one is missing, the other one has, and vice versa, like a yin yang. So anyone can win this fight. I can't even. The other guy, Sakai, is very good. He's probably the more complete fighter of the two. But if Rosenstruck touches him one time, that's it, just once. It's gonna be 25 minutes, a whole lot of time to touch him. And I'm not sure Sakai's got the footwork and the bounce to get away from those hands.
no, I agree. So I like it. We're one on one. Either way, somebody's gonna win, and one of
Yeah,
us will be right, one of us will be wrong,
yeah.
and that's the
I,
beauty of this.
I do hope this is a very good fight though, because both of these two fellas they need a huge push. So if they
Hmm.
go out and they perform and give you like that fight of the night type fight, they will get pushed immediately.
Hmm. That rocket to
That's
the
right, man.
moon, like AMC stock. But this has been the Voodoo in the Woods UFC Vegas 28 preview show. Now, for people that want to get more of Voodoo Maximus, where can they find you, good sir, on social media?
Oh, definitely you can find me on YouTube, Voodoo Maximus, Instagram Voodoo Maximus, Twitter Voodoo Maximus, Facebook page Voodoo Maximus, all day.
That's it. And I'm According to Woods, and you can find me doing According to Woods type shit all across the social medias, right?
Yeah.
According to Woods on everything. But we will see you soon for the recap of UFC Vegas 28 with the Voodoo in the Woods post show. You guys be well,
Sunday.
be good. Yes, and Sunday, we will see you soon with more Voodoo in the Woods. Oh, guess it didn't play.